For as long as I can remember, my sister and I were inseparable, but life had thrown us a curveball. Our parents were gone early, and I became both her guardian and her guide, learning to navigate the world while shielding her from the heartbreak I had already endured. Every birthday, every school event, every small victory, I was there, quietly cheering her on, making sacrifices she could never have imagined. Raising her alone wasn't easy. Bills piled up, nights stretched endlessly, and every decision was a test of endurance. I didn't mind. Every struggle, every sleepless night, every penny I saved was worth it to see her smile. She was my world, and nothing else mattered. So when the day of her wedding arrived, I felt an odd mixture of pride and melancholy. Pride, because I kept my promise to her. Melancholy, because my role in her life was shifting. She was about to start her own family, and though I had supported her every step, a quiet fear lingered at the edges of my happiness. The morning of the wedding was a blur of preparations, flowers, and laughter. I adjusted my suit in the mirror, careful to keep my composure, to appear calm and confident. I reminded myself that the day was about her, not me, and that every smile I wore had to reflect her joy. As I stepped out into the sunlit garden, a sudden wave of nostalgia hit me. I remembered her as a tiny girl, clutching my hand tightly on her first day at school, looking up at me with those wide, trusting eyes. That memory, sweet and tender, made my chest ache with a mixture of love and longing. The ceremony went beautifully. Guests clapped, the bride glowed, and for a moment, everything seemed perfect. But then, as if the universe had decided to remind me that life wasn't always fair, it happened. Her father-in-law, a man I had barely spoken to, leaned forward during the reception and, in front of everyone, muttered something that froze my blood. I heard it clearly, every word cutting sharper than any blade. "You really did all this alone?" Surprising she turned out half-decent. For a heartbeat, I froze. The room seemed to tilt, the laughter and chatter around me fading into a hollow echo. My mind raced, trying to process the insult, to understand why someone I had barely met felt the need to demean me in such a public, humiliating way. I could feel the heat rising in my face, my hands tightening into fists at my sides. The contrast between my sister's radiant smile and the venom dripping from his words was almost unbearable. I had spent years building her world, nurturing her dreams, and here was someone trying to diminish everything I had sacrificed. The crowd, oblivious to the undercurrent of tension, continued their chatter, but my eyes locked on him. My anger simmered, not wildly, but cold and precise, like a storm contained behind a steel door. I wanted to lash out. I wanted to shout, to humiliate him the way he had humiliated me. But I paused. My sister was there, and this was her day. I reminded myself that any reaction I gave would steal from a moment, cast a shadow over the celebration she deserved. So I took a deep breath, forcing my expression into a calm smile, a mask that had the whirlwind inside. I moved through the rest of the reception with quiet dignity, greeting relatives and friends, all the while feeling the sting of his words like tiny thorns pricking at my pride. I reminded myself that respect was earned, not demanded, and that his attempt to belittle me said more about him than it ever could about me. As the evening wore on, I found a quiet corner, stepping away from the festivities. I closed my eyes and let the emotions wash over me. Anger, hurt, disbelief, but also pride. Pride, because I had never wavered in raising my sister, because every sacrifice, every sleepless night had shaped her into the woman she had become. And though he tried to undermine me in front of everyone, no words could erase the years of love, struggle, and dedication etched into the fabric of our lives.